Hello, my name's Steve Frosty, more affectionately known as the Acrylic Man. What we're going to talk about today is how to decorate the new acrylic cages and how to set them up. Just a brief moment on these new units. They're called the Acrylicage line. There's 5 standard units. This one here is the Acrylicage 1. It is the second from the smallest unit. It's 24 long by 16 by 16. The Acrylicage 2 is same footprint, but it's 22 inches high, better for cockatiels, conures, etc. The one smaller unit is 16 by 12 by 16, and for a single parakeet or something of that sort. The most common unit, the Acrylicage 3, is 24 by 24 by 30, good for African gray or a bird of similar dimensions. The largest standard unit, which is 30 inches long by 24 by 36 inches high, the Acrylicage 4, is also a pretty popular unit. They're all built in the exact same configuration, same design, and the same benefits. Just to go over a few benefits, the units are totally 1/4 inch material. There's no thinner gauge material put in through them. The units have sliding doors as opposed to a hatched door with hinges. The sliding doors offer a lot of benefits. They allow access to 50% of the cage at any one time. It also allows very easy removal of the door. You may notice there's no handles on the doors because it obstructs from the view. The doors are very easy to remove for cleaning. All you do is slide up into the rail and then down in the track. There's independent tracks, so each door can move independently, and as I said, you can remove both doors for complete access for cleaning. Another benefit that we have in the Acrylicage 2 is this tray. It's an all ABS plastic tray, food grade plastic. It's break proof. It can be thrown in your driveway and sprayed out with a hose or even run through a dishwasher. It's food safe and it's safe for the bird. The rails on all the cages come in generally white, but they're also available in blue and black. White, it tends to be less obtrusive for the eye. And if you're wondering about air ventilation, all the units have the large 8-inch by 1/2 inch slots that are put where the top and the sides and or the back meet. And this keeps it obtrusive from the eye, allows the air to rise. It also, you have air ventilation between the doors and also between this gap in the tray. Larger units also have a fan filter unit available. Okay, some of these units come fully assembled. They're pulled out of the box, ready to go. And the larger units are actually assembled in the factory and partially broken down for assembly. This unit here and the one smaller comes fully assembled. You're going to pull the main unit out, and the only pieces that won't be part of the unit are the tray and the doors. The unit itself will come with a film, a paper coating on it, which we've already taken off, which could be many colors. When you see it, don't be alarmed that the unit isn't clear. All you need to do is just peel the film off from the doors, and they'll also have it on the top and bottom of the cage. The units that are partially disassembled will also be broken down into a few sections, which you'll take and you'll check off with a packing slip that's included. The doors will be included in the tray. You're also going to get one perch that will have screws in the end to help show you how to do the assembly, which is what we're doing right now, decorating the cage. And you're going to be included one drill bit. It's a special diamond dust drill bit that we actually guarantee you will not crack this cage. It works very well, and I'll demonstrate that shortly. The unit here that we're about to use is the Acrylicage 1 and does come this way assembled. Some units may have what you'll notice here is a feeder hole and a water hole, some may not. And that depends on what options and accessories you get. Generally, the 4 main accessories that are available is we have auto feeders, which very simply slide into here, and we'll show how to do them briefly. We also have a multitude of size water bottles that also can be installed. We also have additional perches, and we also have some hardware kits to help you with your toys, etc. There also is a fan unit that installs right here for larger cages, but for a cage like this, it generally isn't needed. You have plenty of ventilation. One other little thing I want to go over is the cleaning of these cages. Please don't use any strong ammonia with the acrylic. This is high-grade acrylic, and realistically it probably wouldn't affect the material, but better safe than sorry. I would recommend mild dish soap, detergent, or even a plastic polish. Although I wouldn't be spraying plastic polish in the cage with the bird. But generally for cleaning the outside, use a soft cloth. I prefer to use Bounty paper towel. Cleaning is actually pretty light on these cages. You pull out the tray every few days, dump your newspaper or your litter. The inside of the cage and outside, give it a quick wipe once a week. Maybe once a month you do a good thorough cleaning. But you'll be quite surprised how clean the cage actually stays, and how clean your floor is going to be. Okay, let's talk about actually decorating the cage here. As I said, we include one perch. Generally the perches are larger as the cage gets larger. There's a small hole put in the end, and they'll actually come with a wood screw partially inserted. There are extra perches available. Generally the cages are designed so that you can add your own perches and take what was in your wire cage and transfer it to this cage here. There's many ways to do it, and there's many perches to do. What I'm going to do is put in a couple of perches here to show you the different ways of doing it, and then we'll add the rest and you can take a look at what it will be. First thing we do is we add the perches. We put them where we want. Some can go across from left to right. Sometimes you can use small perches of different sizes. They can jut out from the sides, from the back. They can jut out even from the top. You can actually screw a perch in from the top. You can put multi-perches in. You can use many types of material. Manzanita, you can buy many things that will work in there. You can also use some of the new cement perches that are out on the market. But you can use just about anything your imagination will allow. What I'm going to do is install a few perches. In this unit here, it is getting a feeder, and there is a water hole for a water bottle. Generally, as an idea, the first perch or two should center around this feeder and water bottle. Reason being is, even though the bird can sit on the edge of the feeder, you also want a perch for him to lean into the food and his water. So what we're going to do is install a decent sized perch between the water hole and the feeder. Generally, I also put another one on the other side of the feeder, a little lower, a little higher. I tend to use different gauge perches. This will allow a little more exercise for their feet. And as I said, you can use any material. You don't even need to use a full perch going across. There's no reason for that really for where the feeder is, but it's totally up to you. After that, we're going to talk about connecting ladders between different perches. We're also going to talk about taking toys, hanging them from the top, and how to do that. And then we're going to go into the actual accessories themselves. So let me show you right now by installing a perch or two. Then we'll shut the camera off. I'll do the rest so you don't have to be bored watching me put in 6 or 8 purchases, and then we'll go back and see what it looks like.
Aww.
The first thing you need to do is get a drill, and the drill bit's included. We have a screw attachment in here for, facilitating screwing the perches in, but you can do it with a hand screw. First thing you need to do is get your drill bit put in there. We also have a tape measure and a pen, because especially when you're putting perches in all the way across, it'd be nice if they're level. First thing I start doing is I want to measure where I'm at, and I want to mark so that I'm even on both sides. In this case, we're going to put a perch mid-center of the feeder. So we'll find that at that point it's 10 inches from the back, and I want to be centered. So I make a little mark right where I'd like the perch, 10 inches from the back, and 7 inches high. As far as drilling, With these special bits, there's not much to say. They're incredible how well they work. I tend to go a little bit slower as I go in, speed up a bit, a little slower as I come out, but it really doesn't matter. The only difference by technique in your practice is maybe how clean the hole is, but you will not crack this material. We'll start out, we'll put it on our mark. That's simple. There is no cracks with these bits. And as I said, you can call me on it. If you crack this cage, I'll replace the cage, no charge. Our first hole. What we need to do is put a hole on the other side symmetrical to that first hole. As I had said earlier, we're 10 inches from the back and 7 inches from the bottom. A pen works quite well. It makes marks on acrylic, and if you make a mistake, it actually will just rub off with your finger. Now we put in the other hole. Nice clean hole. I didn't even crack my own cage. And shavings, well, you can throw them on the floor, we'll vacuum them later. After we've gotten the two holes assembled in our perch, we take it, and the two wood screws that are included, which are in the ends, you can unscrew out. In this case, since we do have a screw gun, I just add my screw bit, and I put the perch in. Now, some will fit in snugger than others, some will be slightly loose. That is not a problem. It will be taken up by the difference in the acrylic, the flexibility of the acrylic. You don't need to over tighten. Remember, birds tend to chew up these perches, and they will be replaced periodically. You may at this point want someone to help you. They can hold the perch while you're tightening it, but it isn't generally necessary. Just hold the perch, tighten it, and it's done. The perch has been installed. I also like to add a perch to the back. What I tend to do is I add one close to the feeder, but a little higher. Reason being, I like to give different heights for the birds. Also, I like to connect ladders from perch to perch. So for our second perch, which in this case I'm going to use a thinner one, I like the little difference for their feet, we're going to go behind the feeder, and we're going to go a little higher. In this case, I'd like to go about 9 inches high and about 4 inches from the back. So we make a little mark, 4 inches from the back, 9 inches high. We drill our second drill, our second hole, I should say, for the perch. You can always change the design later on. You can add more perches. If you have a few extra holes in the cage, well, a little more air. Why not? Now, we turn the cage around, which, by the way, acrylic's only 43% the weight of glass. So lifting the cage and turning it around is not a major issue. We just go 4 inches from the back, 9 inches from the bottom. Voila, we have our mark for our next hole. Boom. I switch to my screw bit. Helps to work at Warwick Products where you learn how to use a screw gun. Little inside joke there. I add my next perch. That's simple. Turn the cage around. our next hole. Very good. Now we have our two perches in there that tend to be closer for the bird for feeding. I have one higher in the back, one lower, and I can add the ladder in any way I want. I can add it from any perch I want. I can sit it where I would like. Do whatever you want. You can attach it. Now, you can add a few more extra perches. You can then add your manzanita. If you look, there's a 1/4" screw with a wing nut. You can place that anywhere you like. You can place it from the top, from the bottom. The other thing that you can do is partial perches. I like to put some of them in the close near the front so the bird can come close to me. I always put some in the back, some higher up. You know, people used to say one of the drawbacks of an acrylic cage is they don't have the wires to climb on. And if that is one of the cons, just about everything else is a pro, which you can read about all the pros and cons on the website. But what I do is I put quite a few perches and quite a bit of toys, so that solves their climbing issues. They'll have plenty of room to play, plenty of space to play with the perches. The next thing I'd like to go over is how to hang some toys. There's a myriad of toys, and I could have sat there and picked hundreds of different toys that are on the market. Different type toys. You're going to want to change them periodically. The two standard ways that I tend to connect toys is either using an eyelet screw, which is just a threaded screw with a hole in it. You can either use it with a wing nut or a regular screw. We also have nylon versions of them with a wing nut. And you can use something as simple as a nylon tie. We are in the process of making hardware accessory kits, which will include a variety of different hardware for hanging your toys. But you can get any of this stuff at any hardware store, just look in your garage. Let's do one right here very quickly with an eyelet. Let's say we would like to hang a toy on the opposite side of the feeder. And at about mid-level, we take our handy drill bit. I like to hang one about midway, about right here. Very simple. Drill a hole. With the drill bit, that's guaranteed not to crack the acrylic. And by the way, this is a commercial bit. You're good for thousands of holes. I prefer wing nuts, generally. But all that needs to be done now is you put the eyelet up, and you screw on the wing nut. And as I said, these eyelets come in many different sizes, but they'll be in the accessory kit. It's that simple. From there, you can take your toys. They come with different fasteners, different ways to hang them. Boom, there's your toy. Took 2 seconds to hang the toys. You can change to different toys. Let's take a look at that. Now your bird got something to play with. But it was that simple. There's also different types of toys you can hang. Another way to do this, if you're not in the mood of using any real hardware, is to use nylon ties. Generally with a nylon tie though, you're going to want to use 2 holes. And generally all you have to do is you drill a second hole next to the first hole. Bring it up through the 2 holes and tighten the loop. Put the loop in your toy and just tighten it. And then you cut the nylon tie when you want to change your toy. Most people prefer the hardware method, but with the nylon ties it's a little more quick and a little more temporary. I hope that gave you a pretty good idea on how to hang toys. You can hang them anywhere, different heights, swings, even some of the little nest boxes that are available. Let's go over a couple other little points now with the feeders and accessory kits. Some people who don't purchase these type of feeders and water bottles can use a number of options. You can buy the type that hang on the perch themselves. You can buy the type with the little wire clips, drill a couple of holes in the side and hang them on the holes. Believe it or not, people have used successfully suction cup type units and they work very well. You can use some of the other popular brands of auto feeders on the market, Bird Zerk, Bird Manager. We can accommodate you by cutting out the holes for you. When you order one of these feeders, which work very well because number one, you have access to add food from the outside. They're made out of the food grade plastic that is the same as the tray. Now, with the food grade plastic, you can take this unit, wash it in a dishwasher. You could probably put almost a week's worth of food in here. And as I said, this would be the staple food. You can add treats, etc. It uses an industrial type Velcro. You get it like this with a Velcro on. You just pull the tape off the other side of the Velcro, push in the unit and press firmly. Now when you want to take it off, just pull it. It breaks the Velcro seal. And by the way, this is industrial Velcro used in boat tarps. You can actually wash it. It will not fall off. It's strong. It's not going to tip it over. As the bird eats, it lowers and it keeps keeping it refilled. If you're on vacation and you don't want anyone to touch your bird, it might be a little snappy. This will allow them to feed the bird from the outside. They don't need to go in their cage. When you buy a feeder unit, we also do the cutout for you. Just let us know if you want it on the left or right side. Generally, we put it in the center, unless you have another placement idea that you might need to accommodate you. Small lid comes with a feeder. Just keep the food fresh. The water bottles are treated the same way. A lot of the larger water bottles, we have stainless steel balls that are in the water, like big guinea pig bottles, or the smaller bird bottles for the units. What we do is we drill a larger hole. That hole accommodates some of the units that have an angled spout. But we use the same type of Velcro. You peel it, press. Makes it very simple to change and add water from the outside. You don't even have to ever put your hands in the units. Let's add the trays and doors and take a look at what it looks like. First we add the doors. As far as the doors are concerned, always look at the doors and you'll find that the polished edges go on the outside. Some people make a mistake of taking it and putting the door in backwards. Although they try and most of the time it won't fit. But generally the polished edge is what is seen. I usually like to put the back door in first because it's easier. So I slide it up into the upper rail and then I lower it down. That can be the left or right door. We also then like to put in the front door and we close the door. There's one other little thing on these doors that I'd like to show everybody. Is these locks are available. I have never seen a bird open these doors before. I did see one cockatoo once get pretty close and start sliding them. But these locks are available. They're just like the locks used on jewelry cases. All you do is just slide it in on the door and it's a key lock. And they are available also. Let's try putting in the tray. Just slide the tray in. There you have it. A couple other little things that people have asked about on these is there grading available for the trays? We used to include a plastic polyethylene grating with every tray. It would sit up 1 inch into the tray. The majority of people, I would say 9 out of 10 people, told me that they didn't use the grating. The reason being is it was something else to clean. If you have a bird that tends to be on the bottom of the cage more, most people just clean the newspaper daily. They pull the tray and throw the newspaper away and or litter. If you feel there's a real issue where you need grading because your bird just lives on the bottom, it is available. And you just request a factory and they'll add the grating to the bottom. It is a plastic type grating. You can add all the toys that you like. You can drill many holes into this material. It won't affect it. Thank you. I'll go over a couple other little products that are made by Acrylicman in the bird line. This is the Acrylicage series. We also have a few other bird cages that are a little more exotic. We have one that's pentagon shaped. which you'll all soon see these on the website. We also have a few others that are coming out that actually have dual doors. We actually have them with a set of doors on each side. And what people like about those units is that they can see the cage from the front without any obstruction of the doors. We also can add small hatch doors, like if you have finches or something where you're worried about them flying out. We can do a number of other things, but we also make a few odd-shaped cages, as I had mentioned previously, the pentagons. Those type cages, though, aren't made in too large a size because they have to be shipped assembled. So we don't generally make any of them over 24 to 36 inches. We also have our carrier line. Our most popular carrier, Acrylicage 2 or Acrylic Carrier 2, which you can see on the website, commonly sold in auctions, etc., is very popular. It's all 1/4 inch clear. It's 15 by 15 by 20 inches interior, which allows for most medium-sized birds. What's unique about it is the handle on top also doubles as a perch. It also comes with feeder cups, and it's made out of 1/4 inch material, so it's very rugged. We have two designs of larger carriers from Macaws. One that is very innovative, helped design by an avian vet, is a carrier that's horizontal. It has a set of doors on each side. It allows the macaw to walk in one side and walk out the other. There isn't any of this one large door and trying to shove your bird into this unit, from the top or from the side. You just coax him to walk in one side and he walks out the other. That unit, though, only comes 32 inches long, unless special ordered. So some of the larger macaws are a little tight in it. For that, we do have a standard macaw carrier that's 36 inches and can be made larger, that has one large door that opens on the side. They're all made out of 1/4 inch material, and they have a similar design as these cages as far as overhangs and curved corners, things that we're actually known for. Please keep taking a look. We're going to have more videos soon. Videos on how to assemble, videos of the product line. We also may have some podcasting and other things of interest that have to do with these acrylic cages. And thank you.